Welcome back, dreamers and drifters, to Gears of Althea. We don't have a lot of announcements, really, but we're glad to be back. Let's dive right into our recap from our session of Meet the Cast. In the illustrious Genesis Pavilion of Binan Suo, we found the scholar Fahim grading papers from the class that he was teaching when young Tora, a Strigakin, which I mistakenly called an Alkin, the Strigakin, came in expressing her apologies for her late paper, and there was a brief discussion about where she was getting her sources from. Fahim gave her some wisdom and encouraged her, though young Tora seemed not enthused about the idea of talking to random strangers about advanced forms of arcane geometry and mathematics. She comes from the sticks. After this, Fahim ventured forth from his classroom, where he experienced a vision. The world got a little melty. And with discomfort gnawing at him, we left Binan Suo as he sought the solace of his workshop, transporting us to the islands of the country of Providence, where we met one of the diligent cleaning crews of Althea. And by cleaning crews, I mean harvesting crews, because G.E.R.S are worth a lot when they are butchered and sold properly. They get mined for Vesium, gemstones, their meat, their hide. All of these things are repurposed and used. Very little of these elemental beasts ever goes to waste. This is where we met Meridius, a young cleaner, where we reflected upon his awakening to latent powers via some sort of merger with an unknown entity. He grappled with his state, his insatiable hunger for Vesium, a substance found within G.E.R.S themselves, and in small quantities on Althea, not enough to sustain someone, though, who desires it for nourishment. Meridius is tempted by a ad from the New Horizons, which is a conglomerate of big brainy people of Binan Suo who have put together a program to match the G.E.R.S in their attacks. This promises food of all kinds, an end to Vesium shortage for Meridius. After that, we moved to the verdant expanses of the Glass Wild, where G.E.R.S, a skilled jungle stalker, prepared for a hunt alongside his mate, Pride Lady Imperius, and their offspring, including one excited kitten. Their efforts culminated in the successful hunt of an Ursipede, with G.E.R.S ceremoniously extracting its heart to commemorate their triumph. In the midst of their revelry, with full bellies and a nap on the horizon, Pride Lord G.E.R.S was sought after but for a tete-a-tete with the Sundering Queen, one of the monarchs of summer. She inquired about his personal growth and warned of impending threats to the sphere of Althea. And heeding her counsel, Pride Lord G.E.R.S set off for the elven capital of Solaris. With purpose, he embarked, and as he traversed Solaris, he adopted a stealthy approach, making his way to the Emerald after spying on someone's television entertainment device. Also getting to watch one of these paid advertisements, searching for volunteers to aid in a great upset and join the battle on the front lines to push back the G.E.R.S threat. Lord Cadus, after this, made their way to the Emerald Spire, observing the ebb and flow of scholars and magi who passed by, oblivious to his presence. His gaze eventually landed him near the information desk, attended by a haggard-looking half-elven woman. He asked, I don't know why Archivist now says Pride Lord Janus. That is a weird shift. Who helped him fill out an application for the New Horizons program, and then told him that if he wanted to get to Binan Suo, there was in fact a craft leaving very soon that was heading that direction. And unbeknownst to Pride Lord Cadus, already on that transport is one Osark Raylin of Lismir, a dedicated member of the Osark Conclave. We met Raylin first as she called upon souls to return between the passage of life and death, and awaken in sacred observance. The time-honored passage of carrying history into the future in written memory on their bones. It was attended by High Osark Beltarin, who offered Raylin the chance to become basically their national advisor on necromancy to Binan Suo. Because as far as magics go, it is one that Binan Suo is absolutely lacking in. Also, with her skills both as a priestess and ability to sway a crowd, the High Ozark thought she might be the best face to put forward. He cautioned her, though, to remain vigilant regarding the elven nation of Ariadon, whose historic conflicts with the undead casts a long shadows even to this day. The war between the Elven and Fey nations and the realms of Steingard, after all, has only been over for about 15 years, so some tensions still run pretty hot. Raylan gathered her belongings and on the morrow boarded a grand skyship crafted from green and gold and white plates and filled with enchanted forests. So, I now want to invite everyone to join me here on this very advanced ship. Raylan, it's only been about 45 minutes since you boarded the ship. Binan Suo's ships move very fast. You crossed over the Barrier Mountains, over the wild kingdoms of Calatir, and to Ariadon and its capital Solaris, the enormous tree. There are a number of people already on board this very sleek, modern ship. It's got very clean lines. Nothing seems out of place. There's no like unnecessary extravagance to it on the inside. It's really more like a flying grove of trees in a very, very high-tech capsule.
Okay.
What's going on in Raylan's thoughts as she, probably for the first time in her life, boards a ship of this kind? Technology like this that hasn't existed in Steingard ever.
A little bit in awe.
You are welcomed aboard. The ship's crew are courteous. You do get a couple sidelong glances, but they knew they were here to pick someone up who was one of dead. Uh, but curiosity is celebrated and encouraged in Binan Suo, but not rudeness. So while they do occasionally observe you, they don't really harass you. You are escorted to a sitting area where there are dozens of comfortable seats all around this indoor glade with vibrant colored flowers all over the place. I don't know if you actually have a sense of smell because you don't breathe.
Probably not if I don't actually breathe.
Yeah,
There
so I
would
was
be
gonna
no
go
sense
on
for
this.
that sense.
Yeah, I was gonna go on this whole like olfactory journey, but beautiful prismatic lights dancing like fairies above illuminate the inside with sunlight, feeding the bioengineered plant life kept in here that Binan Suo is so famous for. It is a well-made swirl of color. I was gonna say cacophony, but cacophonous makes it sound like it's overwhelming. This is
Hmm.
almost too well ordered. Like every part of it was planned in some way. Do you take a seat? Do you want to explore it all? What's going on with Raylan?
She's probably going to explore around this sort of all this deck area, sort of looking at the different flowers and the different plant life, which is almost unheard of in her own home.
Yeah. So you're kind of observing, and you step up to several plants, or even close to one of them, uh, at some point. It's a beautiful flower with flawless geometric petals sticking out of it, and a voice that is both gentle and nurturing almost speaks to you. The Stormcrest Corolla, known for gathering mana energy,
She'll turn to where the voice is coming from.
there is a very simple they're called synthients in Elthia, but this one specifically is just a essence of sentience with a holographic form being projected,
Hmm.
which is androgynous, very lithe, glowing faintly in blues. Actually have a picture of the Stormcrest Corolla I will throw in Discord. And there are several other types of plants in this garden. You see aloe plants with like prismatic leaves and small, perfectly cut sections of almost like stained glass that are sitting out under the sun. Not even in all of your histories were plants and nature ever described like this on the surface. Steingard had very traditional, respectable plants before it met fiery oblivion. Uh, but you know, they just had like mahogany trees and such.
basic scrub.
Basic, yeah. It was a very
Yeah.
like temperate Pacific Northwest area. Lots of pine trees and such. Welcome to the Vesta. Do you require refreshment?
No, I don't need anything, thank you.
Please enjoy the journey. You will feel a small movement as the ship begins to accelerate, but once the inertial dampeners have kicked into effect, you shouldn't feel anything.
Before we continue, can you add Archivist?
Son of a bitch. Thank you. Also, did I say Vesta? It's the Vesper. I don't know what the fuck. Welcome, Archivist. We've done the summary, and then I did a whole bunch of exposition stuff that I will upload to you in video form later. But we are on the Vesper, the Binan Suo transportation ship, right now with Raylin, who is having a conversation with the sentient essence that runs and pilots the ship. Now, let's get back to the scene. Thank you, Colton. I'm Demon. If there's anything I can do to make your travel more comfortable, please let me know.
If something comes up, I will.
It kind of inclines its head and its holographic body just sort of vanishes in twinkling light.
Interesting. Gonna have
Almost
to
like
get
a-
used to stuff like this.
Yeah, it almost felt to you like a soul disembodied. Like you felt a soul there in what you know a soul to be.
Mm-hmm.
And once you realize that, your senses kind of spread out and you realize that it's part of the ship. The ship that you're on is living, and that was its soul. Slash consciousness is what
Very,
they
very
would call it.
interesting.
And there is the tiniest, the smallest little feeling of acceleration, like an elevator, and like a modern elevator starting to move.
Mm-hmm.
And then you feel nothing else when the ship leaves Belfala. I'm remembering to look at the camera. There are a number of plants for you to observe. There are names and even some scientific explanations for their uses, what they can do. Several of them are medicinal. Ones like the sky blossom aloe are actually plants that absorb solar energy and convert it into an efficient form of energy that helps power some of the subsystems of the ship. Not only are you sitting in a comfortable seating area, it is also a almost computer bank for the ship.
Yeah.
I don't know if your character would really put all of that together, but it's there.
Yeah, probably not.
Oh, pretty flower.
Oh, flowers. Yay.
The ship leaves. You travel over miles of wild lands beneath you. If you look out the windows at all, the glass wild expanses, the untamed lands of Calatir. You don't see a city anywhere. But it's not long before you see the first tree of Solaris come into view. What with it being a mile wide at the trunk and much wider in its branches and standing up into higher areas of the atmosphere. The ship pulls in. The Vesper's Cynthian appears once more. We will be stopped only for half an hour. If you need to use the facilities or make any purchases, there is a marketplace 2 blocks away.
Thank you for that information.
You are welcome. And then it vanishes again. You get off or you just stay?
She'll just stay. She can't think of anything really she would need.
So yeah, you approach a tree unlike anything you've ever seen before.
A half an hour is not enough to explore it.
It's really not. No, it's not.
Yeah, it's not.
But you could look at it out the window. You see the emerald spire piercing up through the upper boughs of the tree, the telescope sticking out of its dome. And then you hear probably nothing as Pride Lord Cadus is escorted to the room. Are you coming in through the entrance and greeting people, or are you sneaking onto the ship?
No, I was allowed onto the ship because I was going to Binan Suo to sign up for their G.E.A.R.S program.
Yes, I remember
So,
that.
so I will just kind of saunter in. But as soon as I see those trees you described, I'm going to climb the tallest one and find a nice perch.
Excellent, excellent. There are many comfortable branches in some of the larger trees.
Excellent. And I will take a nap.
Raylan, enormous cat wanders into the room and climbs a tree.
I think both me and Ashclaw sort of turn our heads and go, really? Wouldn't they allow pets on board like this?
The Scout Vulture
realize it's
sidles
like
away from the cat.
Literally realizing I have an undead vulture as a pet on board.
Yeah, it flies over and sits next to you. This seems the safest place.
I think I will cautiously approach this very large carnivore type creature. I just sort of look at it.
So, it's 7 feet long without the tail, 10 feet long with the tail, 4 feet tall, all black. Claws are constantly extended, and they are 4-inch claws. and right now it has its forepaws kind of folded under its head, and it's napping up on a branch. Also, no fur. It has an exoskeleton, so it's you know, kind of a weird cross of a cat and an insect there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when its eyes were open, they were golden and kind of shining. But right now, its eyes are closed because it's napping.
Okay. Interesting passenger they let on board. If it is a passenger, I guess we will find out soon enough. And yeah, I just direct Ashclaw to come and sit with me in one of the chairs. Well, perch on one of the chairs beside me and take a seat.
Excellent. He does. He never stops looking, though. Very uncomfortable.
It's a lot to take in.
Ah. So, the ship begins moving again after about half an hour. This time you zip out over vast oceans. Over the Shard Sea, where there are a number of islands that look like they're some form of naturally occurring gemstone or crystal that have been thrust up out of the ocean like islands all around the Shard Sea. Providence comes into view. It's hundreds of floors uh, appearing in your view long before anything else besides ocean in every direction. And you are moving to dock with one of the upper rings. But as you're doing that, it's going to be a couple hour flight.
Mm-hmm.
Meridius,
Yes.
just sent in your application.
Yep, he'll have just sent it in. He's gonna go ahead and set the tablet down on the side. Um,
Mhm.
and I'm assuming his little armchair has a programmed remote in it. That would be cool. He's
Sure.
gonna start plugging in to do change the channel. The equivalency to the world news, just to see if there's been any more series dropping in.
Nothing is being covered at the moment, but it's the hottest topic in the news right now, all over the world, because the attacks have been breaching the veil all over the place. And you're like 4 minutes maybe into doom scrolling through channels looking for information on these Draciri and where you might get your next meal ticket. When your tablet lights up.
Yeah, he'll pick it up.
You have been accepted into the New Horizons training program. Find here 1 ticket for transportation on the next sky carriage heading to Binan Suo. It will be arriving in 3 hours' time.
I'll be damned. They must really want people, or they need fodder. Yeah. He'll pick up the tablet and start heading down, exiting his apartment. Doesn't have any food to throw out.
Accident.
It's the one I
I'm
shall be
glad.
using going forward, so that'll be
Go
fun.
for it.
But
You
yeah,
do have a little spare Dressiri left over. You did say you squirreled some away.
he'll
You
eat it
just
on the
got back
way
from
out.
the job.
He doesn't want it to spoil, and he doesn't want people to see him with it.
Yeah. Just nom, 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 nom. You have the address for one of the sky docks on one of the upper rings of Stormbreak. You gotta climb up basically through the slums and some of the open air floors. But you make your way up. And you've seen Binan Suo on ships. It's just Suo. From a distance before. They're very sleek. They're very they're a lot more advanced than Providence ships, which are for the most part little more than like sailing ships with solar sails and Aeonite engines strapped onto them and a prayer.
He thinks they're gaudy.
The Vesper does appear very luxurious by comparison. Are you going full mask?
No, he'll have the goggles and his mask in his backpack.
Okay. So you're just your scruffy self right now?
Yep, scruffy, unshaved face, very unkempt. Doesn't really need to be with his current profession.
Okay. The sentient that escorts you onto the ship, if you would like, we do have refreshers on board.
Refreshers? Refreshments?
Yeah.
I would not mind.
We do offer refreshments as well. Hygiene facilities.
Oh, I definitely could take a leak. That'd be fine.
Follow me, sir. And the sentient just turns and walks. It's an android, which androids, okay, they're literally designed. So they are either flawless by nature or like fucked up by nature, depending on the android. They don't have a lot of in between. This one is one of the ones with like perfect symmetry, a flawless part on their hair, perfectly symmetrical circuitry on both sides of their face and like everywhere on their body. And are you aware of what like a rain shower is?
Yes?
Yes. Okay. You're led into like a full bathroom with a big overhead like rain shower, all kinds of soaps, shaving gear. There is also a receptacle there if you would like your clothing washed. Clean hygiene leads to a proper long life.
I don't know whether to be thankful or insulted. As he's staring up at all the crazy shit. And how
If
much
I
does
have
this cost?
offended, there's no cost.
Okay. And he'll go ahead and
So if I have given offense, I do apologize. This was not my intention.
Anytime you're in Providence and a guest walks on board, I would be just a little cautious on insinuating they smell or look weird.
I was not insinuating. You still smell of blood.
Yes, but you might not be so direct with it. And he'll go ahead and start putting his stuff together. I'm assuming they have lockers, because that makes sense.
Oh yeah, he
Um,
just steps out and you can lock the door behind him. It's like a full nice bathroom.
Yeah, and he'll go ahead and get showered up and wash his clothes real quick, and he's not gonna shave, but he's gonna. I'm assuming they have beard cream and stuff. He's gonna abuse the fact that he
nice
has
oil.
it. Yeah, just go ahead and oil it up real quick. Feel like $1 million man.
Sure, they've got beard oil. Is now canon for Binan Suo restrooms. There's a little butler automaton. He offers you a towel.
Perfect.
Spritzes you with your favorite aroma as you walk out. The Scythian is waiting for you outside once you are finished. This way to the seating room, sir. It will be about a 3-hour trip to Binan Suo. We do offer refreshments in that time, and he's kind of talking as he's leading you.
Yeah, you show
And
me the bar.
basically, the bar, sir.
Oh, just bring me anything fancy.
Fancy. I understand the word. I don't think I take your meaning.
Craft beer.
I have a number of fantastic synthales.
Bring me a new one every 20 minutes.
Very well, sir. He leads you to the sitting room where there is that Raylan and that in Cades chilling up in the tree. And he just sort of motions for you to enter this large, comfortable seating glen.
So Meridius is
Like,
gonna see the cat sitting up in the tree and the weird looking vulture thing, and he's gonna turn back to the automaton
Cynthian.
Make that every 15.
Very good, sir. Cynthian. Nope. So Synthiant. Cynthiant.
And he'll go waltzing in.
3 PCs enter a room. No one talks to each other.
He'll actually go walking up to Raylan, not really paying her much mind, but kind of just eyeing the bird. Just looking it up and down, and probably the weirdest thing he's ever seen. And he cuts up dragons. What the hell is this thing? Ryan, if you're talking, you're muted, bud.
God, here we go again. This is Ashclaw, my
happens.
pet. Yes, it does.
This thing is a pet?
Yes.
How does one acquire an ash claw?
It spreads its wings at you.
Very carefully, normally from unbirth, undeath.
Does that bird pace back and forth on the chair that it's on?
It's gonna click. Oh, you're You're from Steingart.
Yes. No. And she raises her one hand. If the skeletal hand didn't give it away, then, well.
Yeah, I apologize, madam. To be fair, I was more attracted to whatever. I was attracted to Ashclaw. Quite unique from what I've been able to see from wildlife.
Yes. There's some very interesting animal life where I come from.
It's just like a full vulture bone with burning eyes and like feathers still.
Yeah, basically. Half
Also,
decayed.
Ash Club politely turns you down. He's not on the market right now, so you can keep your attraction.
He'll reach out a hand. I apologize for being rude. I'm Meridius. Pleasure to meet you.
She takes your hand. Raylan.
All right. Well,
May I do a perception check? I would like to listen in on this conversation.
Absolutely. I would say that you were capable of hearing this conversation easily.
Then anyone paying
Just
any
from your
attention,
stats.
anyone paying any attention to the cat at all will see that the ears start twitching.
Yeah, Raylan's probably like every 15 minutes or so, just sort of side glancing the cat, like, is it awake yet?
well, easy going
It's
here.
at around this time the Synthiant comes in with a big ass mug of ale that is not like that golden brown color you generally expect of ales. It is bubbling and fizzy, and a blue and red color.
Oh my god, it's a nail spritzer.
It is
What the hell is this thing?
a synth ale, sir. You did not specify a flavor, so I simply picked the most popular one in Rushni at the moment.
Well, I've heard good things. He's gonna take a sip of it.
It is honestly delightful. It's probably more of a mead than an ale because it's a little on the sweet side.
Yeah, but it doesn't taste like a White Claw, right?
No. It's like a really good like imperial red mixed with a honey mead,
Ooh. Oh,
and then separated. So you're drinking them in equal parts at the same time. One of the
okay.
liquids is actually denser than the others, so yeah. It's fucking stupid.
I like it.
Binan Suo is so advanced, it boggles my own brain sometimes.
Well, while this tastes good, I'd prefer a traditional ale. If you have that here on board. This
I
does
had
taste great.
anticipated
But
I had anticipated that need, sir. And he kind of like motions a hand over the tray and a regular fucking brew forms.
I'll go ahead and grab that. Much appreciated.
Anything for the Honorable Osark?
No, I'm quite fine. I really don't need to eat or drink. But thank you for the offer.
I can also provide more comfortable pillows for you to rest upon if you find the chairs lacking in cushion.
Oh, the chairs are quite fine, thank you.
I'll take an additional cushion.
Very well, sir. I shall return shortly. And he kind of wanders over to the tree, looks at the jungle stalker. Your cerebral activity would make me believe that you are in fact awake. Is there anything that I might offer you, sir?
Busted.
No thank you, strange thing.
I am a sentient, sir.
Yes, I don't know what that is, but you don't smell alive.
That would, I suppose, entirely depend on your definition of alive.
That's fair.
But I
Usually
am
I
not
judge
organic.
something.
This is true.
Usually I judge something as alive based on it having a heartbeat and blood.
So it does talk.
I thought it was just another one of your pets.
Not mine.
And
Bows
the
the head out.
the jungle stalker will now dive from the top of the tree, and do an all four paw cat landing, in front of the you two.
The Ashwing takes the fuck off and flies in the opposite direction.
God, I really need to learn the Ashwing thing.
Ash Claw. Ash Claw.
Let's go.
Not wing. I gotta get that out of my brain.
Do you have meat?
Well, I do believe you should have asked the sentient for the meat if you wanted it.
That's who I'm asking.
Sorry, the cat wanted to know. Oh yes, if
I-
you asked him to bring you some meat, he would say, "I can bring you synth meat."
Does it have synth blood?
I have never tried to replicate it with hemoglobin still in it, but potentially.
Very well. Bring me a side of whatever synth creature is popular.
Very well. Then he turns and leaves, leaving the three of you alone. He was still standing over by the tree.
I'd be truly careful with that synth meat if I were you.
I'm not truly hungry, but he offered and I had a nap.
Your cat logic is flawed.
And this is a new one for me, so what the hell are you?
I am a jungle stalker.
Since when did they become sentient and able to talk?
We have always been sentient and able to talk.
Oh, so it's not just me, Raylan.
Yeah.
Well, does this jungle stalker have a name?
Yes. G.E.A.R.S. Pride Lord of the Jungle Stalkers of Palantir.
We've got an honorable and a pride lord. Why the fuck am I in this room?
Perhaps because you smell like blood.
Do you say that to everyone you meet?
I do not. But this ship is taking us to a place where they are requesting warriors. And it would seem to me that warriors smell like blood.
Well, they got it wrong here. I'm just a cleaner.
We shall see. You, on the other hand, you smell strange, decayed,
Yeah.
unalive, not worthy of hunting.
Well, the first bit's correct. I'm definitely not alive. And I would not be tasty.
Yes, I can
Wild
smell
long
that.
shot. Warrior, though, well, we'll see.
Hell,
Both
you're
you and your bird smell not appetizing.
Yes.
well, I guess that brings up a question. What is your honorable doing on this ship in the first place?
One of my queens told me to go to the city of the Great Tree and learn of a great evil that threatened the world. I did so, and then I was told once I had learned of it to go and try and stop it. That got me on this ship. I filled out something called an application at an information desk at the top of the tree.
Up until that point, you're pretty sure he was just reciting like a childhood story? Like out of a fantasy book. And then I
Yep.
filled out an application.
And you, Raylan?
I have been asked by my lord to actually come and help. And to show the rest of the world that not all undead are
Bastards.
inflicted with insanity.
Oh, that's a good way to put it.
What is this insanity you speak of?
Well, to most it would be a talking cat.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not the weirdest thing in Althea.
No. How to
You
put
were
the
just
insanity-
dismembering a giant dragon 2 days ago.
Well, that dragon
That's
didn't
true.
talk. At least to me.
Yeah. Apologies. I'll stop interrupting and continue.
That's okay. The insanity. It's when a life has been brought back from the dead, and its soul cannot reconcile that it is here again. Therefore, it goes insane. It becomes a wild beast.
I thought it was just a sailor who happened to drink salt water.
So
That can lead to it.
So your friend here is correct. Insanity is a giant talking cat.
Yep.
I guess in this situation, yes, but I'm quite sure we're going to encounter more than that.
What is wrong with the beast?
Well, the beasts from where I come from they kill for no reason but to kill.
Ah. Then you have made an incorrect judgment. The jungle stalkers do not kill simply to kill. We kill for food, and we kill to defend our litters. But we do not simply kill because we can. Everything would be dead.
It's nice to be around those who think highly of themselves.
Hmm. It's good that your kind think that way.
No, we must. If we didn't, there would be no prey in the jungle for us to stalk.
I
Nature
guess
must always exist in balance.
at the end of the day, that might kill your name if you were to kill everything around you.
But even worse, there would be no food for the kittens.
Hmm.
Yes, the young must survive so the species may survive.
Indeed. This is why we do not kill more than we need.
Well,
The
it
way
was
it's natural.
rather nice meeting both of you. I'm gonna go ahead and sit down and enjoy this beer. Yeah. And he'll awkwardly shuffle off to go sit down on a bench and enjoy his beer.
It's about this time the Synthiant comes back with another full beer because it's actually been about 15 minutes. And has in his other hand a tray with what looks like an actual just brick of meat, like in a cube, and it does have blood on it. I mean, it looks like blood, but it's kind of been drizzled on it like syrup.
Ketchup.
Yeah.
I would like to taste it.
Yes, of course. Sets the beer next to Meridius, sets the plate in front of you.
How does it taste?
To your palate, it tastes like meat, but it's like diet meat. Like, it's not the full thing, and you can tell it's not the full thing. Like, the meat was synthesized. It wasn't, the muscles weren't built over years and years of like tendons building up and being damaged and growing stronger and building the muscle up naturally. It was like 3D printed. And so there's a difference to it. It's not inedible.
I will politely eat it, even though it is disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that perspective.
Saw that coming.
Yeah, very much a cat thing. The smallest thing is wrong with it, so of course, no. I dig it. You eat, you have another beer. It's gonna be, like I said, about 3 hours to get from Providence, from the break, to Binan Suo and Roshni. Is there anything else you all want to do in that time, or have you kind of like moved off to your own corners for the time being?
I will go back to my perch in the tree and watch the world as we pass through it.
So fast, moving so fast and far beneath you.
Yeah, Ryland's probably brought out a little etching tool and has start doing a little script on one of her bones, sort of highlighting the last few hours.
I know Meridius would probably be just kind of sitting there having a beer on his phone or the version of it in Althea, trying to come up with a story that sounds better than I'm just a cleaner.
I'm just a cleaner.
Because apparently he's surrounded by undead and beast royalty. And for all he knows, he's competing against them for this program.
Yeah, that's true. We move away from the Vesper. It is flying out over the Shard Sea, past the shattered isles of Nenuvale, and across to the Deep Hollow, which is an area of ocean that at its center has a very large, slow-moving spiral current that at its center, even from a great distance, you can see is a enormous maelstrom. Wide enough that there is darkness at its center. The ocean is wide enough that it is deep enough that you lose vision. And there's just mist spray from the ocean as all of the water falls down into this pit. But you're not going there. You're not going to the Hollow Deep. You're going up to the Skybound Tiers. Floating mountains and islands covered in bioengineered plants. Strange animals running through the sky. The Lumen Boreal wolves are all white with like circuitry patterns on them and a sweeping horn that produces and seeds clouds as they run. You see little dragonettes, which are these little pudgy green dragons. Here's the card for the Lumen Boreal wolves. Strato Wings dragonettes. They are tiny little, almost like fairy dragons, but they look a bit like Toothless. But also flying out in droves. Binan Suo uses them for deliveries a lot of the time. Are these long, feathered green serpents with the head of an eagle and scales down most of their body and two large wings. They are a common pet in the Skybound Tiers. They are also used to deliver packages. They are taken on as familiars fairly often by low-level sorcerers. But this is the Sky Quail Serpent. So many things floating around. Fuck, I was forgetting to make notes of when I describe things. I'm sorry, Colton.
You're fine.
Oh, but you know, they're in the chat, so we can check the timestamp on them. Problem solved. And as you're pulling into Roshni, the city itself is wild. The buildings are swirled. You see panels of this beautiful blue and like a swirling, almost galaxy patterned glass across all of these buildings. Flocks of birds flying amidst them, huge buildings that are, they're shaped like wedges almost, with these massive circuitry symbols done up on them. It is a solar punk utopia. And your ship moves to dock with one of these buildings. This one. But while you're on the 3-hour flight from the break to Roshni, we're gonna slide away from the Vesper, getting to Binan Suo far faster than the rest of the party. To Fakim. It's the next day after the bleeding geometry, whatever the fuck that was. Also, I gotta remember to mind my language. We're gonna have to bleep that out for YouTube. It's hard for me not to curse. It is not a school day. You are off for the day. Considering how Fahim's yesterday was, what would he do to unwind or de-stress, decompress? How do you fill your spare time? Do you rest?
Fahim definitely is the type of person that doesn't like to idle. So the act of doing something is stressful to him, and oftentimes he will be tinkering or crafting or doing things with his hands or actively reading or researching, but he thinks it's most restful to sculpt in general. So likely he'll be headed to his workshop to kind of sculpt in various mediums: clay, wood, metal, others by hand, by magic, by 3D printers. But he's interested in all kinds of those.
Programmable matter manipulators is what they
Yeah.
call them here.
Yeah. Although definitely the more hands-on approach is definitely more relaxing than just editing a model file for the matter printers.
Absolutely. And it's actually a lot of the Binan Suo technology is actually like psycho-reactive now. Like you transfer plans and thoughts and formula via psychic link with your devices. Uh, it's a much more smooth and direct operating system. But all of your personal stuff is also locked to your specific psychic signature. But you are also encouraged to do things like work with clay with your hands, whittle, do something to narrow your focus down. Bring your perspective to a single point for a time. Shut your brain off. Your sagacity is huge. But I want a craft roll from you for this.
Sure.
What are you making?
He will probably be making probably like a self-portrait kind of sculpture.
Okay. Doing a bust of yourself?
Yeah. Charms, dice. Horse is fine. Oh.
Okay, Zaraj. Okay. I need you to calm the fuck down, alright? You're setting a really difficult tone.
Dude.
I need you to roll less good, I think. 7 successes.
Oh, I'm trying.
We're in session 2, my man, okay?
Go ahead and show that real quick, because that needs to be ingrained into society.
Yeah, so... you are in a flow state while you're making this bust. You carving it from wood or shaping it with clay?
Oh, with clay.
So I imagine you're in like appropriate attire for working clay, like apron, bare
Yeah.
hands,
It's just
messy.
part of the process to kind of mind shift, change gears. He's changing into his outfit to work with clay, so it's kind of throwing away what he was working in earlier into a fresh perspective, fresh clothes.
So it's like, yeah, taking one mantle off and putting on another. So like this outfit is for that specific thing, and this outfit is for this specific thing. Is he that organized? In general,
He tries to be, but stuff happens.
it's not a judgment. It's more like me trying to get to know your character. So you are messy. You're working with clay. There's dust. There's some goop. You've got your, I assume, like roll of sculpting tools out, lathes and gavels, and I don't know what all the tools are for sculpting. Scalpel. I don't know. Tiny shovels. Those like wedge things that they use for scraping and smoothing. Does anyone know what that's called?
Chisel?
Yeah.
No, not a
Chisel.
chisel. Chisel is for like working with marble and hard stone.
A kniff?
A kniff?
Or in layman's terms, a knife?
Oh no, I don't. There's a. You know what, Colton? I'm trying not to curse.
What's just basic stuff? Wire, clay
Yeah.
cutter, sponge, ribs, metal scraper, wooden modeling tool, loop tool, ribbon tool, needle tool.
Amazing. Thank you for that. So yeah, you got all of that in front of you while I was really just trying to distract while I thought of 7 successes on a sculpture in session 2. You craft a perfect likeness of yourself in clay. Down to the smallest detail. You have put in individual scrapes for hair that gives the appearance of like hair follicles on this sculpture. You have worked the texture of flesh into clay so that when it dries, it will have the feeling of skin that's just been hardened. Your brushwork, your ribbon work is flawless. So as you kind of like sit back to admire your work or criticize it, I don't know how hard you are on yourself, but this is something that belongs in like the Louvre. It's so good, but you know, you might not like it. Artists are their own worst critic. What's going on in Fahim's brain as he makes this bust?
He's just kind of analyzing his day. He usually does this process completely with his eyes closed, so he just likes shaping it. He doesn't really have a end goal in mind on what it should look like, so he likes to be surprised on what it ends up being when he opens his eyes. But just the mere fact of shaping it with his hands, the touch, everything, is just channeling all his anxieties into it. But he'll likely keep on thinking about what he saw, since he doesn't often try to view things as clearly. He hopes to look at most things from a broader perspective, but that thing he saw probably freaks him out a bit. And he's wondering if it's some kind of omen for the future.
Okay. All of that anxiety and stress that you feel in you, I'm not gonna say that it's all gone. I'm gonna leave that with you to decide how much is. But oftentimes, in performing some form of art like this and focusing on those specific emotions, we can, in a way, release some of them. But if you don't have a plan for the statue, for this clay bust, what you see when you open your eyes is a 7 success sculpture. You're not wearing your glasses. Your hair is wild and spun in spirals, all going in different directions. And you've given hands to the sculpture, so it's more of like an upper torso piece. And one of them has gripped at your mouth and jaw and has pulled it down, almost to the point of being unhinged. And your other hand has reached up for your eyes and is tearing away at the flesh beneath your eyelid. And you appear to be screaming in some form of pain and anxiety. Just looking at the statue makes you feel that anxiety again, like you put all of that emotion into this object without even trying to. And then your phone beeps.
He'll be a bit stunned initially, but as the phone rings after a second, he will definitely pick it up just to not look at it.
A holographic image of another one of the professors and scientists that have been at the Genesis Pavilion lately. Her name is Dr. Vera Sadawi. She is short. She's a halfling. She's got curly, kind of wild black hair that's almost raveny, so there's a bit of a bluish sheen to it. Very warm brown skin. She's wearing the traditional cerulean blue outfit of a scientist of Binan Suo. Professor Fahim?
Yes, that is I.
I was given your contact information by one Eloise, the voice of the last guardian, the voice of the turtle. Nope, scratch that. I take it back. Eloise was the voice of the tiger. Yes, she was the voice of the tiger.
Oh. I have not worked with her in some time. What does she have to say?
Actually, she doesn't have anything to say. See, we were looking through records, and I understand this is a bit of an invasion of your privacy. Uh, but we think that you have a high chance of being compatible with the G.E.A.R.S armor that she's been working on, and we'd like you to come in for testing.
Ooh. I recall several discussions with her on it. Has she come so far? I did hear some. Speaking of the ads, recruitment.
Yes.
But
And obviously, we're not broadcasting out to the greater world that the gears are ready, but they are. She's completed 6 of them. All they need are pilots.
hmm, I am not much for war, but I will come. If nothing else, I will see what wonders she has made, even though it's meant to combat the great evils of this world.
None of us are hoping for war. We would take a different path if we could.
Of
But
course,
as we may not be given a choice, it will only be used in self-defense. Hopefully, the Draciri will give up their attack at some point.
that is a day I openly wait with hands freed up. But when would she like me to come?
Testing will begin at the end of the week. Not at the end of the week. The beginning of the week on Moon Day. I fully fucking forgot that I did Sunday, Moon Day, Till Day, Wodes Day, Harvest Day, Rest Day, and Star Day as the names of my weekdays. It's clever of me, right? I mean, it's not any more clever than our actual ones are.
Monday being Monday, I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, similar enough to remember.
Yeah. She's planning on sending all of the new recruits through the hardest levels of the simulation right out the gates to weed out anyone who couldn't possibly be compatible. I'll explain it all here. I'm updating your clearance so that you can enter the New Horizons building.
Very well. I appreciate your time so far.
And yours. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Wonderful.
So,
May your days be skywide.
reach for the sun. And she closes the call. So Moon Day is tomorrow, you realized.
How far is it actually? Is it another city or the same city I'm in as a Genesis?
So
building?
the Genesis Pavilion is not in, or it is in Roshni actually. Is there it is. Is this big old building over here? By the way, don't read into the hexagonal grids on these large maps. Nothing will ever happen on these maps. I have also the distances definitely aren't accurate. We don't really do distance; we do range bands for this game.
Yeah. There's a gridless mode for Foundry maps or scenes.
Yeah, and I could turn the grid off, but we are actually going to be using these maps. I was joking. We are totally gonna have mech and monster combat on like city maps like this.
Oh.
Yeah,
But
it's gonna be. I shouldn't have spoiled it.
what's
No, we
the
shouldn't.
common
No spoilers.
transportation in the city used? Is it like flying carts or just
There are
local roads or?
definitely Aeon-powered vehicles that you can take. There is also public transit, which is the railways. not everyone can afford or likes. I shouldn't say afford because there's no resources or monetary value here. But not everyone wants a flying car, and they're perfectly happy taking public transit. Some people do. A
Yeah.
bunch of people carpool.
Yeah, so likely tomorrow Fahim will just take the local transit on the way there. He enjoys being around the people.
There are also in like different districts little teleporter pads that will send you to other districts as well if you don't want to train. The New Horizons facility is one of the newer buildings, though, in Roshni. And as you're arriving down on the bottom floors, entering in, you see the large green shape of the Vesper docking with the top of the building. And now that everyone is finally in the same location, I think we're going to take a little break. We got there eventually. As we return, the ship has docked over this beautiful city of Roshni. And you are all encouraged to depart. You are given another synth beer on the way out. And I don't know how like heavy of a drinker Meridius is, but you can't really get above buzzed with these. They're not super high in alcohol.
He's going to try.
You try, that's for sure. It's like Star Trek synthahol.
It's awful.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Welcome to Roshni. You can get real alcohol here, by the way. It's not banned or anything.
Well, to be fair, I did switch back to actual ale.
You did, but that was still synth ale. He was synthesizing it. The ship is not that big.
So Meridius is gonna be angry getting off the ship, or at least not happy.
Did not have a good time.
Cadus will prowl off the ship.
You disembark. There are people waiting for you on the roof, dressed in those lab coats with the gold embroidered tree on the back, which I think one of you might recognize. Yeah, I think Meridius might recognize the trappings of an Archmage.
Wouldn't be surprised if I sold him Bessium or Bessium meat or gems off of the back of a G.E.R.S once.
Yeah, possibly. Also, her. It is Dr. Sadawi. She is 3 feet tall, fully barefoot, because she is a halfling. She's wearing some pretty delightful, like, gold hoop earrings. She's got a nose piercing, a lip piercing, multiple eyebrow piercings. Welcome. You're the applicants, right?
Does applicant mean somebody who filled out an application?
It does, yes. Very good.
Then yes.
I see you don't struggle with extrapolating information from incomplete data.
The words sound similar. Applicant, application.
Yes. You would be surprised how many people struggle extrapolating that with incomplete data.
Oh, man.
I assume I know who each of you are simply from your appearances, but also I don't really want to judge. I could be wrong. So why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves to me?
I am Pride Lord Cadus, the only applicant who needed help to fill out his application. Or maybe not. Maybe somebody else needed help. You know what? That's an assumption. I shouldn't say that.
That is fair. I suppose you don't have a neural interface device.
What
Do
is
what
a
now?
neural interface device?
You're the one from Providence.
Yes.
A neural interface device is a bit of bioorganic technology that you can have implanted in the back of your head. It is seated in the root of your brainstem and allows you to neurally link with and interface with computer systems.
So it plugs a computer into my brain.
You just
Only when you
said
wanted to.
you just said a lot of words that I've never heard.
I did. You will hear all of them many times in the coming days, I assure you. Is there anything that you would like clarified immediately, though?
Can the cat have one of these neurotransmitter thingies?
Certainly.
God damn.
A brain is a brain.
What is a computer?
She motions at the ship behind you. That is a vehicle run by a computer, but it is in essence now a computer. She holds up a crystal data slate. This is also a smaller computer with less processing power than others. She points at just a whole ass building, like over here. That building is a computer. They are systems for processing, storing, and exchanging information.
And you have enough information that you require these devices to do so?
Yes.
Sounds exhausting.
It is.
The computers do most of the heavy lifting. It can also be overwhelming if you're new to it.
Do I have to know all this stuff to help?
You will be receiving a Neuralink if you bond with one of the gears. But I wouldn't say you have to know all of this stuff to help.
Well, the gears require a Neuralink.
They do. You will be entangled both psychically and genetically with the gear, if you, of course, pass the aptitude test and bond with one.
What is a gear?
Um. May I? She like walks over to you and reaches out to touch you. May I?
Nuzzle her hand.
Oh, adorable. She scratches your head and like taps some of the like plating on your arm. So a lot of creatures don't have stuff like this. It's not hard. It's soft, like mine is, right? Well, a gear is like a much larger version of your exoskeleton. That's what this is. Much, much larger. Allowing you to do to interact with the world on a macro scale compared to our current worldview. Macro scale, larger size, you'll get bigger. Does that help?
Yes. When I get bigger, will I be more hungry?
No, actually.
Hmm.
Well, maybe. We haven't actually had anyone pilot the gears yet, so we're not completely 100% sure on what any biological feedback will be to your bodies. If the gear does interact with your metabolism, the thing that makes you hungry, it could strengthen it for a time, but it shouldn't be anything untenable.
Yeah, hell, I knew we would be test subjects. Damn it.
You are, but you, of course, must give your consent. We're not going to force anyone through the process. There
I
was
was-
a waiver with the application.
Yes, I was commanded to come here.
Oh, I don't. Are you subject to a sovereign state?
To a degree.
Okay. Good to know. I will make note of that. It was not put on your application. While we respect the sovereignty of other nations, we do require consent to be given from any biological being that undergoes any form of anything here. So if you don't want to do this, you don't have to do this. And if need be, we will offer you protection from any repercussions from the sovereign nation threatening you.
If you've ever seen a cat roll its eyes, like that's yeah.
I do not understand your strange culture.
Fuck. Are you willing to undergo all of these tests?
As I said, I was commanded to come here. I will do as I am bid.
Oh, is that what you... You know, it's fine. I'm just gonna
It
put
means
a paw here,
yes.
please. And she just holds a little crystal slate out to you and says, put a paw here, please.
Accidentally crushed the crystal slate while putting the paw there.
That, yeah. I will fix that later. She scoops it up. It still, like, fully takes a, a flash of your paw to sign the consent form. She sweeps it into her bag. Right. I'm Dr. Sadawi, Pride Lord Cadus. I imagine you are then Raylan.
Yeah.
Welcome. We have needed an expert on necromancy for some time now. And are you also being ordered to be here?
I was asked to come. Not necessarily ordered.
Thank goodness. Wonderful. Meridius.
Well, I was told unlimited resources if successful. Was that a true case?
Unlimited resources within reason, yes.
Within whose reason?
Do you need unlimited resources for something?
Well, the application said I would get what I need. Is that the case or not?
What is it that you need?
Now, there were no underlying terms when I read the contract originally.
the terms of resource allocation in Binan Suo is that people are allocated necessities. Anything not classified as a necessity for life must be requisitioned.
Well, then, should I succeed, you'll find out the necessity.
I see. Very well. Then please, everyone, this way. Unless there are more questions.
No.
Not at all.
None from me.
Excellent. You are led down into the building, down several floors, where there are more of those people in lab coats, none with the same gold Genesis tree embroidered on the back. But you all reach the testing area at around the same time. Fahim, you are stepping off of one of the lifts that brought you up from the ground floor, as this group is being led into the classroom from a hallway. A testing room, not a classroom. Assessment room, not testing room. Which is just a large open room, which, not like a school classroom, there are decently comfortable, like, couches and chairs kind of sporadically set around the room, and little lap tables that you can use to write on, set data slates on, anything that you may have brought with you for this particular moment. And I'm gonna pass over some narrative control to you guys. Now, imagine that there's a bunch of different colors, a bunch of different shaped furniture in here that you can pick and choose from to be comfortable in. And like either rolly tables, desks, there is an actual like desk and chair on one side of the room. But it's a psychological test. This room is a psych test. So I just need to know what place your characters go to sit. Maybe the color, the comfortableness of the furniture that you sit on and use. What furniture you would use in a scenario like this.
What is the highest point in the room?
Probably a raised platform in the front of the. Well, the desks do sit up higher than it. And like on the back wall, there's like recessed shelving that has a foot or so space going up to the ceiling above the shelves. That's probably the actual highest point, but there are some desks that you could jump on.
Okay, I will jump on a desk.
Or you could perch on the back of the couch too. That's an option.
Is that higher than the desk?
Maybe a little bit. Probably enough that a feline would notice.
Then yes, I will perch on the couch.
Excellent. Not using the couch for what it's for at all. You perch on the back of it, where it is half pillow and half hard and just awkward to lay on for normal people.
Not for a cat.
Not for a cat, it's true, because cats are liquids and solids.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. So the cat goes and perches on something.
Ryland's probably looking for the most practical, plain type of desk and chair you could find.
There's a very simple little office chair and like just regular flat top desk.
That's where she goes
But it-
sit.
Yeah, it's very clean, minimalist design.
Yeah.
Okay. Demon.
I'll let Fahim go first.
Fahim.
Sure. Fahim would probably go for a chair that looks the most comfortable.
That looks the most comfortable?
Something cushioned,
Yeah,
has
there's like
armrests.
a full body like ergonomic chair that you could just chill out the fuck in. Almost like a recliner.
Yeah, but he'll definitely just plop down and a little bit worried from the morning travel to head here, as it's likely not a route he typically takes. But yeah, he's just relaxing,
Okay.
just looking around, seeing all the other applicants, and he's interested in seeing what kinds of crazy things Eloise cooked up.
Meridius is gonna find the closest seat to Fahim. And sit
So
down next to him.
shape, feel, that matters to him. The closest spot to Fahim is what matters.
Correct.
Interesting. Tell me what Meridius looks like though while he's deciding that, because you are being watched.
He'll look at the other two contestants and realize, well, I say contestants at this point because that's how he views the situation. And understanding that he's already had conversation with them and kind of understand where they come from. Now there's an entirely new person and only one other new person presented in front of him, so he wants to sit down and feel out this new person.
Okay. Feel that. You sit down. Let's say it's a sofa love seat with a lap desk on one of the cushions. You're in the comfortable area of the classroom.
And he'll kind of be leaning up on to the little desk in front of him, just kind of eyeballing Fahim.
Are you trying to hide this at all?
Nope.
Okay. Fahim, you definitely clock then that you're being sized up by someone who sat right next to you in a room full of open seats and only 4 people in here.
Yeah, Fahim will just acknowledge him as he sits down.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Meridius.
Oh, the pleasure is mine. I am Fahim from Genesis Pavilion.
Oh, nice to
And
meet you.
he offers his hand as well.
He'll reach back and shake your hand. Now, what royal family do you
Pause.
hail from?
I need to pause real quick. Does Fahim take his hand? Did I miss that?
I mean, Fahim offers his hand, so if
Okay. So
If
as you
Meridius
clasp hands,
takes it, yeah.
I think what I need Meridius to do is explain what Fahim very briefly sees overlaid across your body.
I wouldn't say it's like an overlay across the body. More like there's a center core inside of Meridius that doesn't feel natural. It's both separate and entwined at the same time.
His geometry is fucked, by the way. Half of it's good, half of it doesn't make sense.
Fahim's eyes definitely widens, but he'll try to not react as obviously, but it's definitely odd to him to see such a thing, especially through his glasses.
It's almost like what you saw yesterday, or the day before at this point. But it's not the same. It's not that dripping black inkiness. It's almost like negative space in the geometry. Like you're more aware of the negative space in it.
Now, I've had the pleasure of meeting a Pride Lord and a honorable priestess. What royal family do you hail from?
Oh, no, I am not from any royal family. Just a humble professor at the Genesis Pavilion. Teaching my students is all I ever wished to do, though perhaps today the fates may change that.
I'm not the only entire oddball in this facility, then. All right.
I do see quite the interesting set of applicants Eloise had brought. Will be most interesting to see what outcome today comes.
I agree. Last thing I thought I'd meet was a dead vulture and a talking cat, but here we are.
Ah, you. And what specialness do you bring to the table? I can't but help, but notice you wish to apply for a gear. It is not uncommon people that go for such things.
Yeah, as you said, it's not uncommon. I could use the resources to, well, honestly, live a more lavish life.
Certainly an ideal I can get up with, although my callings bring me to other directions in life.
Hello, good professor. I assume you have more than the needs to make ends meet.
It is sufficient for what I need it for, and what I don't, I do best to help with others.
You know, at the end of the day, hopefully I can help others and help myself at the same time.
As I truly hope everyone can do so, but it is an ideal we all strive for in Binan Suo. And perhaps with this G.E.A.R.S program, we may further attain it. if nothing else, we can make some progress with our the dangers that have been popping around the world ever since. What was the event called?
Emberwake.
And is that commonly called the Emberwake?
Yes. Because it started year 0 for this era after Emberwake. That is part of Elthia's calendar now.
Yeah, since the Emberwake.
Yeah, I was but a kid when it happened, so hopefully change will happen.
I mean, as change greatly has happened from Meridian to the, the break, but we can see more. At least I hope to.
Curtis will kind of relax back into his chair and get comfortable.
Yeah, Quahim will relax as well.
Mr. Fahim, what is a
Oh.
professor?
It is a great creature. A professor is one who teaches.
Well, in that case, I too am a professor.
Of course you can be.
I teach the litters how to hunt.
A great father you are. A noble calling.
I suppose I've never been called such.
And what is your name, great father of the litters?
G.E.A.R.S, Pride Lord of the Jungle Stalkers of G.E.A.R.
I greet you, Kratos. Oh, it seems you are acquainted with my friend here as well.
Yes, we met on the ship with the big trees that you could see out from.
Oh, those vessels are quite the technological wonder. I've read many papers on such sustainability they provide.
Their meat is terrible, though.
I did warn you.
Oh, perhaps you may find more to your liking as you live here in Binan Suo.
I'll be fair,
Are there-
Professor. Is it the same as that synth shit that they have on the ship?
Are there prey animals in Binan Suo?
Would Fahim know?
I mean, yes and no. Many of the native species of animals do have cycles of prey and predator. But there's no apex hunter in the Skybound Tiers biome. Or apex predator, excuse me. There are minor predators, and obviously the wolves hunt the cloud running gazelles. They'll also eat the aerospark hawks if they can get a hold of them. So I guess the wolf would be the apex predator for the Skybound Tiers. The Lumen Boreal wolves. But yes, they are predators.
There is a certain kind of prey, yes.
Am I allowed to hunt it?
perhaps with the correct licenses, you may attain correct permissions for it.
Predatory species are granted dispensation to hunt if they need to.
Then yeah, Fahim will reply with that.
Excellent. If I had to live off that synth crap, I would have left. It was just a block.
All
Oh.
right. No, keep going.
It was just a block of nasty, and the blood never flowed through the flesh. It was just drizzled on top. It's disgusting.
I'll be damned, my dear friend. I did warn you.
Your opinion would be of great help to the manufacturers that synthesize such things. I can definitely connect you to some people. Maybe they may be able to recreate what you want.
Like 80% of Binan Suo is made up of vegetarians, okay? But they know that they need animal protein, or they need protein to survive, which is why they made synth meat. It's way better than soy. I'll tell you.
Yeah. Soylent Green. Oh no. Has Raylan taken a seat yet?
Oh, she's sitting at a desk. Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
The minimalist chair.
Is the bird near her?
Yes, the bird is near.
I would like to slowly approach the bird in a non-threatening fashion.
I'm not sure how Ashclaw's going to take that.
I think Sand's playing it out in real life. Fuck away from me.
I would like to shrink down and make myself smaller by crouching.
Okay, going into attack posture.
Yeah.
Hopping back a bit.
Not attack posture. Not attack posture.
Crouching for a cat.
Tail
It might
sticking
not
up.
be a-
Tail sticking up straight in the air.
Yeah, it doesn't help anything.
Ashclaw doesn't know what to do. He just like looks at you, Raylan, and then looks at the cat.
I just sort of pat my shoulder for Ashclaw to perch on it.
Yeah, if this bird still had like meat and stuff on it, it would be so fucking heavy. But since it's just bird skeleton, it climbs up onto your shoulder and like looks down.
Yeah, Prime Lord, I do not think the bird takes a liking to you.
Does it understand speech?
He understands speech.
I am no threat to you, little dead bird. You are not tasty. You smell terrible. I will not try to eat you.
Tilts the head.
If a bone like bird skull could look offended, you're pretty sure it looks slightly offended.
What do you mean I'm not tasty?
Well, Fahim, you work here or in the vicinity. How long is this wait gonna take?
I don't act as I spoke. I work for the Genesis Pavilion, and this Horizon facility is not what I'm used to, but I, Eloise is a dear old friend of mine, and I came upon her call.
So you have no idea how long we're gonna sit here and wait either.
It is as I'm just looking at Binan Suo, it's like
Oh, shit.
it is as the drift lift goes. None can know. But Fahim will probably turn to Raylan now, and would Fahim, based off how Raylan dresses, be able to recognize where she's from? Or her city of undead is probably less known to the wider world?
Well, Lismir is specifically known to Binan Suo as they protect their country status with the Council of Unity. Since they don't wage war against the living and actually help people pass on and possibly join their ranks. But they are the only official like undead kingdom that has been lifted up to full status. The vampires want to take over the world, blood out the suns. Standard vampire stuff.
Uh, I don't see much visitors from Lismere. And who might you be?
I am Osmark Rylan.
It is a pleasure. I am Fahim of the Genesis Pavilion.
Nice to meet you.
I hope your accommodations have been well.
Beyond my expectation.
That is great to hear. I truly hope for the greatest of aid and support to all that Binan Suo can offer.
So far, the hospitality has been quite.
You are quite pulse-bound in saying so.
I love you using the Binan Suo colloquialisms. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy.
Hmm.
Sorry, I interrupted.
Is there any other applicants other than us for now?
In this room? No.
No.
It is just you four, and no one has come or gone in the room since the last two arrived.
After the full inspection of the bird, Cades would like to lay down on the carpet and start cleaning himself.
Just so chill.
Just
Yeah.
so much like a cat.
Yeah.
Then Fahim will probably recede into his nice, comfortable chair and maybe start beginning to nap if nothing happens for a moment or so.
5 minutes go by. 10 minutes go by. Still no one comes into the room.
Well, Viridius will be the first to stand up and go knock on the door that they entered from.
You don't get a response.
Well,
Can you open the door?
I'm gonna try the padlock that's next to the door to open it.
Padlock, keypad, maybe
Keypad,
crystal
whatever.
pad. Nothing happens. You wave your hand in front of it. There's no noise. There's no light that lights up. The door doesn't budge. With the pleasant swish, you know all of the Binan Suos make at this point.
Mm. No, it appears as if they're not answering in the first place. I'm gonna look around above me to see if there's any cameras watching.
Gonna need a roll for this. An awareness roll, please. And this is an actively looking for something, so I'm gonna ask for force with it. At least I think that's doing it right. I'm gonna have to double check this.
2 successes.
So there's nothing quite visible like cameras directly, but there is an oddness to one of the windows. There is a discoloration in a few corners of the room. There are crystal panels up on the wall, on the dais, where you're pretty sure the person was going to stand if they were talking to you. Up in the corners above that, you see little square crystals with geometric carvings on them, which could very well be surveillance devices. And the reflection in the window is weird.
Radius is gonna pick up one of the chairs and throw it at the window with a weird reflection.
It strikes and sends out a ripple almost of like pixels from where it hits. Like it is like non-Newtonian in structure. Like it got hit, it got softer and harder at the same time, and the chair falls to the ground, but then it smooths out again, and it's just the outside of the building again still. But for a brief moment, it looked like a screen.
Are we trapped in this room?
Yeah, I would assume that somebody's at least watching. And he's gonna walk up as close as he can to that window. And he's gonna punch the shit out of it.
Okay. Give me a close combat or physique plus force. You strike, that ripple happens again, only this time the ripple is softer in the material as it hardens quicker from the amount of force you apply. But the image like fades out in a bit of a larger area before, like, every time you move your fist back, it spreads out and then the image comes back, but you don't seem to cause any damage to it.
Okay, just to answer your question, I do think, yes, we are trapped in this room.
I would like to begin patrolling the perimeter of the room and smelling for exits.
Okay. The only scents you find lead from the door to the stairwell that brought you into this room, and from where Fahim stepped off of the lift. Your scents still go there. They're fading a little bit. It's only been 10 minutes. But there's no new smells coming through those spaces anymore. Like if they were a door, unless it was like fully sealed to keep the air out, which is something you probably haven't encountered yet, there would be new smells coming through those passageways if they were still open. But you are looking around, and I'm giving you that bit for free. Those doors are no longer doors. If you would also please do a force awareness for me.
And this is for Fahim?
This is for Kate. Kate.
Okay.
Raj, if you said anything, I didn't hear you. What is Fahim doing?
Oh, nice.
Oh, I forgot how essence works. How does essence work?
You spend essence on charms. So on your charms and spells tab, you have a number of things that you can do. You also have anima effects you can do. I love your passive anima effect. Extras cannot deal damage at all. Any damage roll they make on step 7 generates 0 successes.
Yeah.
You just cannot be hurt by someone who has not awakened to a power. Kate, with 4 successes. Before I get too far away from that. There aren't any scents that you find. But you are fairly certain that there is a very small, like the floor is thin. Not thin, it's still like a foot thick. But the floor feels slightly unstable to you. It's not like moving specifically or anything like that. You just perceive some kind of weakness in the floor.
I would like to attempt to dig at it with my foreclaws.
Excellent. Physique force, please. And are Raylan or Fahim doing anything, or still chilling and waiting?
I'm watching what these guys are doing.
Okay.
Yeah, Fahim's just examining how the
observing.
others applicants are reacting to this situation.
Two successes.
2 successes. You start clawing at the floor, and you are leaving some scratches in it. Like you're pulling up some of the tile or whatever flooring they have on there. I hadn't actually thought about that. No, I think I should. Unnecessary detail. You're clawing up some of the flooring, but there is a space made of metal beneath it. As the flooring comes up, you see aenite plating in the floor with lines of glowing gold circuitry inside of the starlit alloy. Aenite, after it's refined from bestium and mixed with different types of gems, tends to take on a dark hue, blue, red, sometimes green and yellow, a dark hued version of whatever gemstone was used in the Aenite's forging. This is very dark blue, almost black like the night sky, and you see a starlit pattern in the material that the circuitry is in. But your claws cannot pierce it. And as that happens, there's a little chime noise, very gentle, harmonious, even one might describe. And you hear the voice of Dr. Sadawi over speakers of some kind, projecting from the corners above the podium. Welcome, candidates. Now that that part of the aptitude assessment is over, welcome. You have all been selected for the provisional aptitude assessment, number 7A. Part of that intake process for potential operatives of the New Horizons Initiative. This evaluation will be mandatory. I will say it will also be non-lethal, but to make sure you still give it your all, it will still be painful up to the point of actual cardiac termination. We have healing magics and technologies advanced enough to handle any wounds you might sustain in the upcoming evaluation. This was curated and designed by both civil and magitechnological engineers and professionals. You are very safe from death and possible maiming. I say possible maiming because if you lose the limb, we have options for cybernetic replacements of the limbs, regrown bio-organs, and regenerative technology. I'm digressing. You are about to undergo assessment. You are going to be placed in a controlled illusion matrix designed to test team cohesion and tactical adaptability, moral decision making under duress, and resonance compatibility. There will be some psycho-spiritual resonance monitoring. Emotional and arcane responses will be recorded and analyzed. Any candidates exhibiting critical instability will be safely extracted. So if you're about to disintegrate into pure Genesis energy, we will remove you from the program. Integration trial. There will be certain facilities may activate latent technologies. Don't be alarmed. They will only hurt you a lot or explode or attempt to disintegrate you, but they won't really disintegrate you. I promise this is a completely safe training sim. It will hurt a lot though. So I really, really recommend you act as though the simulation is real. Lives may not be at stake, but your reactions define your readiness, for one, and it's not going to be fun. Harming another candidate during this trial will result in disqualification unless contextually warranted. I know a lot of this might be going over some of your heads, but you are expected to act as a team and may help each other understand this. Unforeseen behaviors from these simulation lattices are rare, but not impossible. Should irregularities occur, remain calm and await intervention. Now, I'm sure some of you are aware that 15 years ago, after Emberwake, a number of people, roughly 1 in 100,000, began awakening with special powers tied to one of the 6 forces of the universe as we know it. Electromagnetism, the dance of currents and light, light magic, electricity, magnetism, energy fields, a lot of Magitech engineers wielded, lightning magicians. We use it in Vestium stabilization. Gravity, the force of attraction and collapse. Holds worlds in its orbits, pulls matter to center, bends space-time, and is key to our teleportation technologies and planar transits. We use this in skyships, rift magic, and travel through other dimensions. The strong force, the binding will of matter, it holds atoms together, governs mass cohesion, crucial to artifact forging and structure craft. Our best blacksmith sages, binding rituals, and those responsible for maintaining the armor integrity of your gears possess this power. The weak force, the pulse of decay and renewal, governs radioactive decay, particle transformation, and entropy on a micro scale. This, we understand now, is used in necromancy, transmutation, and transfer of consciousness. We're so lucky to have a representative of the Ozarks with us. They can explain some of this to you in better depth than I can. A lot of our alchemists have this power, though. Then there's dark energy, the breath between stars. This can accelerate expansion, create voids. It is at the moment our least understood, but we know that it can be tied to prophecy, dream magic, and star mapping. The few that have awakened with this power or garnered it have become the greatest astromancers, dreamwalkers, and augurs in the world. The rarest is Genesis, the will of becoming. The creative force behind consciousness, identity, belief, and what we used to consider divine manifestation. The shaping of reality itself. We understand that all of these forces are scientific in nature, but also mystical. The universe is wonderful. But we need to know where all of your powers originate from. So unfortunately, you're going to be going through this test. Good luck. And do your best. The floor beneath you all vanishes. And you find yourselves plummeting into a ruined cityscape for miles in every direction.
Can somebody explain that, please?
They're testing
Simply.
what we're good at and what we're not.
And if we can work as a team.
I got that much. It's more the forces.
Oh,
What?
yes, the oh shit. What did she say again? Oh, yeah, you're special is what she said. You have an ability that you don't know you have.
Yes, this I am aware of. Both my mate and I have an ability that we don't understand. She is searching the jungles to see if she can find the cause, and I'm here.
Well,
You-
they're testing us to
stop.
determine what that is.
You're having this conversation as you're falling through the fucking air, by the way.
Perfectly fine.
10 seconds pass. Perfectly fine. 10 seconds pass. You land in the ruins of a park that looks like it was struck by meteor impacts. And there are enormous gouges that look like they were clawed from the earth. You stop feet from the ground, enough time, several seconds go by, and you can prepare yourselves. Your kinetic momentum gives in, and you gently land on the ground.
Yeah, at least they were nice enough to give us a soft landing. Well, Professor, were you expecting this? Professor Fahim.
Certainly an interesting situation we've come upon.
Indeed.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm actually guessing this is why we had to sign that waiver.
Possibly.
Trapping us
You're
in a
abs-
room and then putting us into a destroyed city to go fight seems like something we should give permission for.
I guarantee you this is exactly what the waiver was for. Not
Yes.
the mentioned disintegration or anything beyond that.
Yeah, that's another thing. What is disintegration?
Oh god. You don't want to know the answer to that one.
No.
Certainly, in Binan Suo, we are quite thorough with our legalities.
Well, I wish disintegration was mentioned before I signed that waiver.
I mean, disintegration had to kind of be on the line, period, if you were gonna go and fight Drosiri.
I signed up to find out if I can fight Drosiri, not to fight Drosiri.
Exactly, yeah. And you're all kind of like having this discussion in a park. And talking to each other, kind of looking at each other. Could I get awareness checks from everyone? Fortitude awareness checks. I'm really not sure I'm doing these attributes right. I'm gonna reread the rules now to make sure I am. I'm a little nervous.
I mean, at the end of the day, the players can sit here and try to justify any other
Yeah,
attributes.
anyone that you want.
I
To
was
be
about to
fair.
say,
That is 4 fucking successes for everyone so
Cool.
far. Okay.
Okay, I had to be the oddball.
For a second, I was gonna wonder if y'all were cheating. No, I would never believe that of any of you.
You questioned me on it before.
You had
Jokingly.
a slew of rolls. That was getting insane.
Yeah. Zaraj stole my luck.
He did. Stole all
I'm
of
not
it.
kidding, dude. You did. You 100% did.
When the mound of vegetation kind of behind Raylan begins to move and unfurl one leg, another. It lifts up its reptilian head with overgrown plants all over it. This is maybe 30 feet long, 20 feet tall. So not like a full-grown Drosiri, it's like a juvenile one. But its wings are green, but its eyes are that gold color. And flares out its enormous wings that light up with the veins of Vesian that course through it. And we're gonna roll initiative.
How does that
But
work?
we will have the battle next time.
How does initiative work on this one?
That is one of the reasons we will have the battle next time, because I don't remember.
Oh, easy day.
Easy day. Thank you for joining and watching to the end, everyone. If you like what we're doing, please like and subscribe. And we will see you next week. Good night.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Good night.